Hey, welcome to another Hair Tip Tuesday. Last month we started with how to properly shampoo your hair and get it ready for protective styling, and then we ended it with last week's video on how to properly take that down, your protective style down, and treat your hair afterwards. So this month we're going to get into a little bit on the educational side, and we're going to be talking about basically the anatomy of hair. So let's get right into it. So there are 3 levels of one hair strand, and those levels would be the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. So to help you guys, I got these notes, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. The cuticle is the outermost layer of the hair strand, and it has some cells that kind of overlap, and they help prevent damage to the hair's inner structure. So those cells basically create a barrier and a wall to prevent us from damaging the other 2 layers of the hair strand. And these cells, they point, so if you ever seen your hair and if you ever heard anybody say all the cuticles are going in one direction, they're talking about this particular layer. So you want all your cuticles to be going downward. So, or I wouldn't say downward, I would say in one motion downward. So the middle layer is called the cortex, and this is like kind of the most important layer, I should say, because it has most of the functions. So it's 90% of the weight of our hair. One strand of hair, that holds 90% of the weight, and then it holds the most strength and elasticity. So I don't know if you've ever paid attention to when you're doing your hair, when your stylist is doing your hair and she's pulling your hair like in a downward motion, especially after a chemical service, color or relaxer or perm. What she's doing is testing the elasticity and making sure your hair is not snapping. So that's usually what she's doing, and that's the layer that does that, is the cortex layer. Also, this is the layer that can get damaged if we're relaxing or coloring with permanent color or heat damage. Final layer would be the medulla. Now, if you don't have thick or coarse hair, then you don't have this layer. It's not a bad thing, it's just that naturally blonde or thin hair women and girls, they don't have this layer in the hair. You just will have the cortex and the cuticle. But this layer is the innermost layer, so this is the layer at the very end of the spectrum. And it's really it's composed of about a bunch of cells, and it just adds to what the cuticle and the cortex does. All right, so let's recap real quick. So you have the cuticle, which is the outermost layer of your hair. Then you have the cortex, which is the middle. And also about the cortex, that's where our color of our natural hair is found. So if you have black, brown, ginger, naturally blonde, whatever your natural hair color is, that's where the pigment comes from in that layer. And then you have the medulla. But remember, the medulla is only found in thick and coarse haired people. All right, y'all, that's all I got for this week's Hair Tip Tuesday. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram at hairstylist.NicoleB, and also like and subscribe my YouTube, and all links will be dropped below. Also, my website at www.nicolebthestylist.com. All right, y'all, check y'all later.